What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of All Things Outdoors. Today's mission is to build a watertight bulkhead for the Daintree Hunter kayak so that I've got watertight storage right up into the front of the kayak. Let's check it out. So this front hatch here is original to the kayak, but what it actually came with was like a little waterproof sock that just goes in here, which is really only designed to hold like your phone and keys and stuff like that for like a day paddle. So what I'm aiming to do is actually build a bulkhead across here on the inside so that I can use the whole nose of the kayak as waterproof storage when I go on those extended overnight kayak camping trips. Now the hardest part of this whole process is going to be cutting out the profile for a bulkhead to install here in the front of the kayak. So we're going to try a method here where we're going to make a template out of cardboard, and I'm going to show you a really nifty way that I've worked out to trace out the exact profile of the front of the kayak so you can then go and transpose it onto some foam to cut it out and get the right shape. Right, so what you want to do is find a piece of cardboard that you can fashion into the rough shape of the profile in the front of the kayak that you can jam in there, just like this. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, and I'll show you why. It has to be roughly within an inch of the edge, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do it. So you want to get yourself a pen, probably a permanent marker is the best thing to do in my case that I've found. And you want to find something that's going to create like a wheel on the outside of the pen, where the point of the pen's right at the center of the wheel. And what we're going to do is use that to trace around the profile on the piece of cardboard inside the kayak. Now once you've traced out your profile, what you want to do is actually go and cut the profile out so that it's a nice clear stencil of the profile of the kayak. Now after you cut out your cardboard profile, you'll end up with something like this. So now we're going to go and put this on top of our foam that we're going to use and trace it out. Now remember how I said before when I was talking about the pen that we're going to use and how we made a wheel around it? This is where it's going to be really important, because the reason why we put that wheel there is so that we could roughly put the piece of cardboard in there to make a stencil, but then this will give us the correct profile. So the correct profile is actually going to be the radius of this wheel on top of the one that we just traced. So what we're going to do is measure the radius, and then we're going to go and add that to the stencil that we've just traced. So the diameter of this wheel is 4 centimeters. So the radius is going to be 2 centimeters. That's perfect, nice round number. So let's go and add 2 centimeters to our stencil. Now all that's left to do is cut it out and see if it fits. Here's one I prepared earlier. Now the best material for a project like this is this beautiful rubberized type foam. It flexes, it's waterproof, and it's really quite strong. Unfortunately it's not readily available here in Australia, so what I've opted for is this insulation foam board. So the next part of the kayak bulkhead build is to give the foam a little bit extra strength, because it's going to be up in front of my feet and possibly get kicked or hit by stuff that I'm storing on the other side of it. I'm going to give it a bit of extra strength. What I'm going to do is place a bit of plastic in on both sides of the piece of foam, and then I've got some laminate to cover over the top of it to give it a nice finish, and also to help with the waterproof nature of the bulkhead. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the plastic to both sides now. Right, so I've installed the bulkhead in the front of the kayak. I'm really happy with it. It's a really snug fit, and all that's left now is to run a bead of silicone around the edge on both sides to really seal up that edge. What I did when I put it in was I put a bead of Sikaflex in there to help to do that seal on the edge of the bulkhead to the actual kayak itself. So I'm just going to go through around, seal up the edges, and then we'll be done. Alright, here we are nearly 24 hours in the future, and I'm going to do something a little bit risque to test out whether the bulkhead is waterproof. I'm going to fill the front hatch full of water. Let's check it out. Well, there you have it. Leak tested, no leaks. Got to be happy with that. I guess this wraps up the bulkhead modification of the kayak. As always, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and look forward to more adventures from All Things Outdoors. Thanks guys, see you later.